Today we're going to be having a look at one of my recently completed guitar builds. So this is Asmodeus, and this is my take on a Gibson SG. So although it's instantly recognisable as an SG shape, there are actually quite a few differences in the body shape and the overall design, which improve the balance, playability and tone over a standard SG. And I know there's some bold claims, but I'll talk through them now. So one thing I was keen to improve over the standard SG was the balance. They really don't balance that well. Some balance better than others due to how heavy the body is, but really as a design they're not that well balanced, as in they can neck dive. But you can see with this guitar it's sitting on my lap perfectly like that, and there's no balance issues at all. It's the same on the strap as well, and that's because I've actually shifted the neck into the body quite a bit, and that's really helped with that. So that's made less of a lever action up on the headstock end, because it's not sitting so far out there acting as even greater lever, pulling the whole guitar down like this. It also has the added benefit that reaching out to the first fret is much closer, much easier to get there, less of a strain. So that was really improved the comfort of this guitar. So if you shift the neck into the body like we have done, you can run into issues then with the high fret access. So on this design we've actually altered these cutaways too. So these are actually a bit deeper than they would be on an SG, and the horns are actually a bit longer as well. So that helps with the balance again, these longer horns, especially when the guitar's on the strap. Another feature of this design is a long neck tenon joint. So on a standard SG you've got quite a short neck tenon, but on this it reaches right to the middle of the pickup here, and that's more like a Les Paul joint. So it's a long tenon joint, which means it's going to be stronger, you've got more gluing surface there, and some people will also say that gives you better sustain and a better sound to the guitar as well. That's obviously completely up for debate, but it does definitely increase the strength because you've got more gluing surface there. While we're on the subject of neck pickups, this neck pickup position is actually also taken from a Les Paul. So the standard SG position is a little bit further back towards the bridge, but I find the neck pickup of a Les Paul is just perfect. So that's what we've got on this guitar. So the pickup is right up against the end of the fretboard, which is where you get those nice harmonics. On the neck we've got a headstock volute here to give the headstock some extra strength, and this neck is actually a 3-piece laminate of mahogany to further help with strength and stability. And we've also got titanium bars running either side of the truss rod down here as well, so it's a super strong and stable neck. Perhaps the coolest feature of this guitar is the fact we've got a built-in MXR Hybrid Fuzz inside of it. So you've got the two controls just for the guitar here, so you've got master volume, master tone, and then the 3-way selector, and then you've got two controls here for the MXR fuzz pedal. So this one is a push-pull, where you can pull up to activate the fuzz, and then this is the fuzz volume. Then you've got the fuzz level down here as well, the amount of fuzz you want. So you've got the same two controls that you would have on the MXR Hybrid Fuzz pedal, except they're now mounted on the guitar. And then instead of activating it with a foot switch, you activate it with the push-pull. And these fuzz faces make a great pedal to have on board the guitar, because the draw is so low from them. They don't use very much battery at all, so the battery is going to last a really long time. There's a 9-volt battery inside of this one, and that should last a very long time. So now we're going to have a closer look at this guitar, and then towards the end we're going to have a listen to it. So the tailpiece on this one is handmade by myself. This is made of ebony and brass, and that's a kind of theme with the ebony, the copper and the brass we've got running through this whole guitar. So we've got all these pieces of hardware are made by Schaller, and you can see we've got the pickups inside these cases as well, which are the same finish, and this is Schaller's vintage copper. So this is actually discontinued now, you can't buy it anymore, and you couldn't really buy it when I built this guitar either. It was extremely difficult to get hold of, but we really wanted it for this design. So you can see we've got the knobs, the poker chip as well, and the switch tip. And then for the inlays here we've got copper to again tie in with that. And we've got side inlays as well, side blocks. And then these frets are bronze as well, so they kind of match the colour as well. These are made by Hosco, they're new bronze frets they do, which kind of took over from the Jescar Evo Gold. And then we've got the brass again to tie in with the tailpiece here. We've got the brass nut and the truss rod cover. And again we've got the Schaller vintage copper tuners on this. The fretboard on this is a really nice piece of jet black ebony, so it's quite hard to get hold of this these days. Lots of it's got kind of streaks of grey and brown in, which can look really cool too, I like that. But for this guitar I think we really needed the jet black one, because it really suits it and ties in with the anodized aluminium pickguard down here and the tailpiece as well. The body on this is a single piece of mahogany, and we've got some quite extensive carving around the edges, which are much more sharp and defined than a standard SG shape. And the pickups, by the way, inside these Schaller cases are bare knuckle Old Guard, so that they're the vintage output and have a really nice kind of clear tone to them. So we're going to have a look at the back now, and then we'll have a listen to this guitar. So we've got another couple of pieces of the Schaller vintage copper here. We've got the jack plate here, and then the strap locks as well. And this is the two cavities here. We've got the electrics in here and the fuzz pedal in this panel here. And this is again the anodized aluminium. And loads more carving on the back as well around the edges. You can see the neck joint on this. It doesn't have any kind of abrupt stop like you can have on some. It flows right into the body, so there's nothing really to stop you reaching those high frets. And then, as I mentioned, this neck is reinforced with titanium up here, and we've got the headstock volute as well. So it's a really strong and stable neck. So let's have a listen to it now. That's all for this one. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please don't forget to leave me a like, because they really help me out. And if you have any questions on this guitar, please leave a comment. I'll be glad to get back to you. And if you'd like to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.